want to talk to those people who have not made their reservations and who are, they'll get around to it. This is an important time. This time where you're making your phone calls now and early in the week is both important because it sets the priorities. Looking ahead to next week, this is my priority. But it also says, I'm going to be there. And there's a lot of people that, they're a little bit on the Hollywood side. I'll be there, and then they don't show up. So I'm asking for those commitments. And I know there's people that listen all the time on the internet who are relatively new to the ministry. And we get these questions that people ask, even though we have some description of some things on the website. So let me just tell you, for those people who say, why should I make a reservation? I don't really quite understand that. It's church, right? So it's important for me to tell some of you new folks out there. This is not a public service. Many church services, if there are no passes, if you're not requesting to come in, could be understood as a public service. I don't know why people make an issue out of this. When you go to a taping of any of the late night programs, every single one of those requires you to get a pass, your name, your phone number, your email, your address. They all require that. It's a live televised program. And then we've got the added factor that we're not only going live on the internet, we're also recording, and it is a church service. So when people say, well, that's odd, I've never seen that before. Well, again, I'll say it again, it's not a public service, and we also reserve the right to not let everybody in, and that does unfortunately happen sometimes where people want to come in. They're not necessarily coming in because they want to be ministered to or hear the teaching. They're coming in for other reasons. So it's not a public service. And I know, people's idea of a church is the doors are open. That's great, and that's a wonderful idea. Too bad that, there are people that come out with other ideas. So I often will say, you'll hear the crawl that says, call to get your pass or make your reservations. You can request a reservation and we can mail it to you. You can pick it up at the door. But to get in, that's what we ask every single person to do. And there are people who've been coming to this church for 30, 40 years. But certainly, we'll call it definitely for sure a solid 35 years plus of the same thing. They call in every week, they get a pass, the pass is at the door. And I know the mindset is, well, what if they're, somebody's a regular and they attend on a regular basis? It's still not a public service. Period. There's nothing more to say. So that's the way it works. I don't know why some folks have a real problem with that. But I don't, and those who are interested in coming in don't either. So we're not mining information, we're not selling information. People give their information. It's strictly for our use to mail you a pass. And those people who've been around long enough know I'm not the type of person that has time to waste on trying to do something with people's addresses or their email addresses. There are too many other more important things to do than mess around with that which I call very personal and sacred information. So we ask you to give that information so we're able to mail you a pass, or if you're going to call in on a regular basis, get a King's House and King's Tither number. That's another way that you can just call and identify yourself that way. But you still need to make a reservation. So we're going to start one more time to get you to get on the phone and make your reservations for next Sunday. Get busy.